Doot, 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 doot. Doot, 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 doot. Doot, 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 doot. I don't even know what song that is. I just started humming it. Hello, this is Dusty on the weekend rundown. Um, I do have a plan for this coming Wednesday for the 321 report. I'm going to concentrate on the 24 hours starting at midnight on May 10th. So midnight May 10th to midnight May 11th. That 24 hours. I'm going to try to concentrate on that and what every person that we've been talking about, where they supposedly were, what they were doing. And I'm going to try to get as much of that information as possible. If any of you have any of that information, feel free to email me at the 321report@gmail.com and let me know what you have. I have some of that info. I'd like more. There's just so many players in the mix of all this. You have Barry, Suzanne, Mallory, Macy, Trevor, Sarah, George Davis, Morgan Gentile, Jeff Puckett, Cassidy Cordova, Cody Lambert, Cody Cox now that I just found out about. All these people who we want to know where they were and what they were doing for 24 hours. From the time that Mary Branson, I believe her name was, that lady that heard the machinery running outside of her house, from that time, that might even have been into the night, so we might fudge a little bit. She said middle of the night, but middle of the night for some elderly people is like 9 o'clock. Like me, I like to go to bed early sometimes. But anyway, we're going to concentrate on that. So get ready for that because it's going to be really important. It is really important to this case. And so what I wanted to do today is a little bit different. What I wanted to do was I wanted to show you or tell you a few stories that I have. And these are from my photography days. And they're almost in no way, shape, or form related to true crime, except they happen to me and I'm in the world of true crime. So, all right. So what I want to talk about today is some experiences I have had working in Nashville in the country music world. For those of you who don't know this, I went to school in Nashville at a place called Nosy College of Art. First, I received a bachelor's or associate's degree in commercial photography because they didn't have a bachelor's degree program when I started. Even when I finished my 2-year degree, they didn't have one. But like the semester after I graduated, they started one. So I took a semester off and I went back and I got my bachelor's degree at Nosy College of Art. So during my time there, CMA, Country Music Association, what they'll do is they'll look for college students, even though I was an older college student, that doesn't matter. But they'll look for college students. They'll ask for portfolios to if you turn one into the Country Music Association, they'll pick 5 students from around Nashville or even around the country because we had people from all over the country come. So they pick these students. They come to CMA Fest, which is held in June. Most years, I don't think they had one last year because of the pandemic. And I doubt they'll have one this year. But anyway, back in 2014, I turned in my portfolio and I was selected. So I was one of the photographers that got to go to CMA Fest and shoot photos during CMA Fest. It's a 4-day event. So it was long days. It was like 16-hour days, 4 days in a row. It was, if you weren't running on adrenaline, you probably wouldn't make it. So that's what I did. I ran on adrenaline, and it was really a great experience. I wasn't really that much into country music back, not this kind, not the modern country music. I was more into like the older stuff. But anyway, I started shooting there, and what they do is they have the CMA team, and then they'll pick one photographer from that team to win what they call the CMA Award of Merit. And so after this summer, 2014, I got a call, and my boss told me, the boss at CMA told me that I'd won this award. And I was really excited about that because one of those awards is given out every year, only one. It's called the CMA Award of Merit for photography. They also have one for journalism. So I won that, and it's really cool. It's like the medallion that's actually in the middle of the CMA award. It's the ones that they give to the artists. And on the back of it, I'll probably put pictures up of this. On the back of it, it says my name. It's engraved and all that. But on the front, it says CMA award, whatever. But it has music notes around the outside of it. And the song that those music notes go to, so that's called the "Will the Circle Be Unbroken." It's the notes to that song, which is really cool because that's a big song in country music. Almost every country music artist is probably saying that at one time or another. It's really cool. So anyway, that was that. And then for the next 5 years after that, I worked with CMA doing not only the CMA Fest, but the CMA Awards. And so I got to meet a lot of the artists, a lot of the people behind the scenes, like record producers, assistants to these country artists, bodyguards, bandmates, what do they call it? Publicists, stuff, different stuff like that. So it was cool, really cool. So when I started doing that, at first I was kind of starstruck a little bit with some of them, not all of them, because some of them I didn't really care for. And I'm not probably going to get into those, but anyway, so what happened was I started getting more gigs. I started working at because I met people there, and I was able to network with some of the biggest photographers in Nashville, and I started getting different gigs. I got one gig that I was on I was shooting for a TV show called The Daly and Vincent Show, and Daly and Vincent is made up of Jamie Daly and what's Vincent's name? I forgot. Darren Vincent. Sorry, Darren. Darren Vincent. And they're a duo in bluegrass. And they were really cool. Those guys are cool. So they're members of the Grand Ole Opry. So before they became members, I went with them to shoot them at the Grand Ole Opry. And they were going to do a number with Dierks Bentley. Dierks Bentley is one of my favorite country artists. I like his music, but also he's one of my favorites because of the kind of person he is. And I'll tell you why. And I'm going to tell you an experience I had that made me like him a lot. So we're backstage, and I'm going to show pictures while we're doing this. I'm backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, which is an amazing experience. I'd been there before this, but this was the first time I was backstage. Backstage was awesome. You can walk by the rooms, and the artists are in there. And like right here, this picture right here, this is where Daly and Vincent were warming up with Dierks Bentley, and they're back there telling jokes and having fun. That's why Dierks is laughing here. So anyway, I run into this. We're waiting for the show. We're waiting for them to go on stage, and I run into this lady, and I started talking to her, and she had two of her sons with her. Hopefully I can find the pictures of them, and I'll put them up if I do. But I started talking to her, and I said, "Hey, are you guys here with Dierks?" Because I saw her hanging around with him, her and her sons. And she's like, yeah, my son, he's got, and I forgive me, I can't remember what the disease he had was. But anyway, she said it was some kind of congenital heart disease. I don't remember the name of it. Sorry. And anyway, she said, yeah, my son's got this. And we did a Make-A-Wish Foundation thing, and he picked Dirks to be his wish to meet him. And so we met him. This was about, she said, it was about 2 years ago. And he said, he told us, whenever I have my 10-year anniversary of being a member of the country music or the Grand Ole Opry, I want you guys to be my guests. And she thought, oh, that's really nice of him to say that. But she never expected it to really happen. And this night was the night of his 10-year. This was the night of his 10-year anniversary of being a member of the Grand Ole Opry. And she said, well, last week we got a call, and it was Dirks on the phone. And he said, hey, you guys going to still come to my 10-year anniversary? And she said she couldn't believe he remembered that. And I thought, man, what a cool dude to remember that. He probably runs into thousands of people all the time at different shows, at different events. And he remembered this family, and he remembered to call them and invite them to this thing that he told them he wanted them to come to. And I thought that was really cool. And I ended up meeting him that night and shaking his hand and telling him I loved his music and I appreciated him as an artist. And he was appreciative of me saying that. There's been other experiences that I've been involved with Dirks, photographing different events, and he's done the same type of thing. One time at the CMA Fest, he was doing a question and answer thing. And this lady stood up and she said, hey, did you get a chance to read my letter? And he said, refresh my memory, what letter? And then she said about one sentence of that letter, and he starts rambling off the rest of the letter and said, I told my wife about it. And he's like, huh, honey? And she's like, yeah, nodding. And he goes and talks about it. And she just was in tears because she couldn't believe he remembered her letter, and just on, different things like that all the time. So anyway, that's why he's one of my favorites. I got a lot of these stories, and I'm going to share some with you every once in a while. But I thought that was really amazing. Another cool thing about Dirks is he's from Arizona. I'm from Arizona. And I've always related to some of his songs, different things he talked about. So, yeah, he's a cool dude. I'm not going to tell you the stories about the people I had bad experiences with, but I will tell you the ones that were cool. Anyway, I'm going to try to get this stuff into my shows every once in a while, little stories, because I think they're cool. And I think that it's good to share some positivity with the world and experiences you've had that have been, I still think about them sometimes, and I can't believe I got to do that stuff, but it's been real fun. I like doing this also, and this has been really fun also to be able to connect with all of you, share experiences with you, and try to do something good for someone else. So y'all have a great weekend. I'm going to go in there. Tiffany told me it's time to eat. So adios, and thanks for listening to my story. I hope it made sense. Adios.